Hello, everyone. Welcome to Behind the Helm. If you want to check out this show live, make sure you go to Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch every Thursday at 4 p.m. If you want to watch the show afterwards, you can go to YouTube. We'll have our regular show plus bonus content. If you want to listen to the show in your car, maybe in the shower, maybe while you're just chilling doing a workout, head over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you could find a podcast, and search up Behind the Helm. Enjoy the show.
Episode 68. Welcome in, everyone. If this is your 68th time here, hey, welcome back. Thank you. If this is your first time here, it's never too late. Thank you so very much for coming in. Make sure you find it, like it, share it, follow it. Share this feed. This is going to be a fun one. We're going to get into some stuff about Veterans Day. We have a happy birthday message for some brothers in arms. And we're going to learn a little history today, a little different. So again, you're on Behind the Helm, whether you're watching live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch right now. Feel free to comment, interact, and, derail me, even though I can do that just fine by myself. I love interacting with you guys live. If you're watching this later, that's okay. You can still put your comments down there below, and I will get you the answers, or it could help other people. As always, just make sure to share because you never know who it's going to help. So, with that being said, what are we doing today? Well, I think we're going to start first with an homage to the Eagle. But I do want to say happy birthday to the Marines. U.S. Marine Corps, 247th birthday. That is amazing. That is awesome. So we got a special message for you guys. They did it up this year. It's a long one. It's a video. It's awesome. I watched it. It's like about 10 minutes long, and we're going to watch about 8 minutes of it because I think it's important. Then we're going to talk about the history of Veterans Day and kind of where that derived from and how that came about, as well as, what it stands for. Talk about some help for some veterans, how you can help, and what you should be doing, as well as in our bonus content, it's a little bit more for our veterans. We're going to talk about the top bonuses and perks that I've seen for this year. So tomorrow, when you're enjoying a day that is just for you, what can you go do? We're going to get into that. So before we get started, again, find it, like it, share it, follow it. Thank you so much. And we'll start with the homage to the Eagle. So an organization that does a lot for veterans, and I think more than most people know, and not just veterans, but their local community, is the American Legion. I am an active Legionnaire and member of my American Legion in Fortville, Indiana, Post 391, and recently just became a member of our VFW post there as well. So most definitely, if you are a veteran, or even active duty, you should definitely visit your local American Legion, your local VFW or AMVETS, become a member, become active. I never realized how much this organization gives back to the community that they're in, as well as the veterans in the community. They're always there to help. They're always there to donate. There's just so much love and brother and sisterhood among those veterans. And me still being active and younger than most, they have been very accepting with open arms, and it's an amazing organization. So with that being said, my homage to the Eagle today is actually Post 391, Fortville, Indiana, American Legion's challenge coin. And I believe still right now it is the only challenge coin in the state that has all 6 branches of the military on it because it has the Space Force. Now I'm going to try to cover this and actually make it so you can see it, and we'll see if you can see it. 1 second here. There we go. So Post 391, Fortville, Indiana, and that is the post I belong to. Just recently we did a Halloween party that was open to the public. That was really fun. A lot of things were donated for that, and they donate a lot to the local community. So definitely get involved. And just a little essay for anybody else out there that's like, well, I'm not a veteran, but I would like to be involved with this organization. You can. So there is it used to be called the Women's Auxiliary. It's not anymore. It's just the Auxiliary. So that's for spouses, things of that nature that can get involved. It's a kind of separate organization, but under the umbrella that does a lot. And then there is the Sons of the Legion, which if, let's say, your grandfather or father was a veteran, you can become a member of the Sons. Again, it's kind of an offshoot, but it's kind of under that umbrella. So even if you're not a veteran, it is something that you can get involved with. And even if you don't want to get involved that way, you can always donate. The big thing I will say when it comes to donating to veteran funds is to make sure to do your research. There are a lot out there. I advocate for the Valhalla Project. I know a lot of people do, the 22 a day. Just make sure that when you go to donate to these type of organizations that you look at how much they actually donate. I'm not going to throw out any names, but I will tell you there's a couple big ones that really don't donate a lot, but they put their name on everything. So just make sure that when you're donating to a national organization that actually helps. And I will tell you, the American Legion, especially locally, is all about the community and the vets in the community. So definitely help them out. All right. So again, welcome into Behind the Helm. Thank you so very much. 247th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. There was a message put out by the Marines. It's the 247th Marine Corps birthday message, and we're going to watch that. Like I said, it's about 8 minutes long, but I'm telling you, it's worth the watch. They deserve it. I will tell you that the Marines that I'm working with in the different offices right now, of course, I went and knocked on their door and told them happy birthday from Daddy, being the Navy, just jokingly, because these are the things that we do. They really always get a kick out of that. So let's go ahead and watch this video.
The Marine just plain considers himself a better soldier than anybody else. Marines have never given anyone any reason to think differently.
We are unique, not just among our fellow citizens, but among all those who defend our nation. We are defined by our warfighting ethos, our intangible warrior spirit that moves us forward into any battle, in any domain, and binds us not only to the Marine on our left and right, but to all Marines who came before us. Current events around the world show us that peace is far from guaranteed. America's adversaries continue to present an ever-evolving threat to our nation's prosperity and security. Today, almost 31,000 Marines are forward deployed or stationed abroad. In every theater, in every time and place, standing ready to confront those who would do our nation harm.
The American strength is based upon the fabric of all of the different cultures and people that come to it. And that applies on the battlefield, and I've seen that there. That is an essence of the power of the American fighting spirit.
For 247 years, capable and determined adversaries have tested the Marine Corps.
The enemy knows when they see that EGA and they see a real Marine hooked to that EGA, that could be a serious situation.
On each occasion, our forebears gave them reason to fear and respect the title United States Marine. Our adversaries have always had a choice: abandon their aggressions or stand and fight. Some chose to fight and were destroyed. Today, our adversaries still have a choice, and they know if they choose to fight, they will be defeated. From the wheat fields of Belleau Wood, or the volcanic sands of Iwo Jima, to the crowded streets of Hue City or Ramadi, Marines prove time and time again they will claim victory on any battlefield.
Our mission was stay on the compound. Well, things happen, situations change. And we got a call that Gunny from the Marine Security Guard Force, the RSO, and their driver were involved in a vehicle accident. We were driven out to the crash site, Liberian rebels armed to the teeth with anything that they had. We had to do a makeshift backboard and stabilized them and got all of our personnel. You're trained for it, but there's variables in there that you could never prepare for. And so you just go with it.
And while battlefields and technologies change, the qualities of a Marine are timeless. Grit, strength, boldness, discipline, initiative, adaptability, honor, courage, and commitment.
It would be impossible for me to say with any amount of confidence that I would be where and who I am today if I didn't have the foundation of being a Marine. The Marine Corps and how it shapes us, and the history of courage and sacrifice that we fill the shoes of and that we follow. It's almost impossible to not continue on and to not want to become the best version of yourself personally, but professionally as a Marine as well.
These qualities were birthed by the legacy of the old breed, those like Herschel Woody Williams.
He really just was a huge inspiration. Growing up, I loved warrior figures, and he was the main one.
It's the legacy of the Marines who came before us, and of our Marines today. When the nation calls, we answer. As America's premier crisis response force, Marines thrive in chaotic situations where friction is highest.
We have to always understand that there's always been troops on the deck taking the fight to the enemy on their distant lands.
We are proud to be first to fight, and we are ready today and tomorrow. Standing ready with undying devotion to the Corps, to the mission, and to each other.
Our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
In 2001, when our nation was still reeling from the September 11th terrorist attacks, Marines aboard the USS Peleliu and the USS Bataan came from the sea and launched the longest amphibious raid in history.
We came 370 miles from the sea, 25 aircraft. During one period of darkness, we inserted 400 Marines over that distance. We did what we say that we do. We did it in an expeditionary manner. We did it from the ships, and despite a lot of risk, we did it successfully.
The same warfighting spirit that secures our victory in combat comes from our ability to innovate, to iterate, to adapt. And we find inspiration in each other.
I remember my first cat shot in an F-18 into a combat zone. And that was a whirlwind of emotions, right? You're ready to go, you've practiced, you're trained, but you're a little bit nervous. That nervousness, though, I think is good, right? It keeps you sharp.
She is more than an astronaut. She is a Marine whose warfighter ethos shapes who she is. A battle-tested warrior with 47 combat missions in Iraq and Afghanistan.
When I'm sitting on top of that rocket and they start to load the prop and it starts to shake and rumble, I hope that I feel a little bit nervous, keeps me sharp. I hope, though, that I have this calmness, knowing that I'm trained, my crew is trained, we are ready to go. And I hope that the second that we launch from planet Earth, that all just disappears and we're in the moment.
While those who threaten our nation remain, America sleeps well at night knowing the future will be no different. Because the Marines are always standing ready.
Across the force, we continue to innovate and experiment in preparation for the future fight. Where we will fight might be uncertain, but we prepare for uncertainty. When called, we will fight and we will win. Today, tomorrow, and in the future. These victories are not won because of our technology or our equipment, but because of all of you. Because of everything you do every day to remain the best trained, most professional, most ready force in the world. That has not changed.
We are warfighters first and always. If the call comes today to go into combat, we will win. But that's no excuse not to be better tomorrow. It is the individual Marines who make up the team. They are the decisive advantage. Whether in combat or in competition, training our future Marines at recruit training, or preparing to deploy on one of our Marine Expeditionary units, we have always adapted to the changing character of war. Why we fight and why we win is unchanged. It is our ethos, our character, and our unapologetic resolve to be the most capable and most lethal fighting force in the world.
Marines, you are writing the next chapter of our Corps. Our legacy rests upon your shoulders, and I'm confident you will meet the task.
Semper Fidelis. Happy birthday, Marines.
Yes, indeed. Happy birthday, Marines. Again, welcome back to Behind the Helm. It is the 247th birthday for the United States Marines. That is a message that was put out by the Marines. It's on YouTube. You can watch it later. Amazing video. Really covered a lot, and they went all in. I was looking for different videos, and I believe the one they did last year was only a few minutes long. There was a lot in that video, and it was awesome. Happy birthday, Marines. And for those Marines and Navy folks out there, you can definitely, we know that we work very closely together. Those are our brothers, and we work side by side. Our hospital corpsmen are there for them. We're there to get them where they need to go and make sure that they can achieve their mission. So happy birthday, guys. So again, find it, like, and share, follow it. It's amazing. 247 years, and tomorrow is Veterans Day. So we're going to talk a little bit about Veterans Day as well. I think a lot of times people know that Veterans Day is a national holiday. However, we don't really talk about the history of Veterans Day or how that came to be. So we're going to go over a little bit of that today. Just, get a little knowledge. It's good to understand what it is that you're celebrating and why. It's not just a day off. It has a reason, and that reason started for a very good reason as well. So I have some facts that I had pulled and was looking up a bunch of different things to have some history on it. But quite honestly, the best information I found and the most reliable I actually found from the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. So, that's going to be legit. So a little bit about Veterans Day. In 1921, an unknown World War I American soldier was buried in Arlington National Cemetery. This site on a hillside overlooks the Potomac River and the city of Washington, D.C. It became the focal point of reverence for Americans' veterans, which we know as the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Similar ceremonies occurred early in England and France, where an unknown soldier was buried in each nation's highest place of honor. And then it lists where those are. These memorial gestures all took place on November 11th, giving universal recognition to the celebrated ending of World War I fighting at 11 a.m., November 11th, 1918, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. The day became known as Armistice Day. So Armistice Day officially received its name in America in 1926 through a congressional resolution. It became a national holiday 12 years later by similar congressional action. If the idealistic hope had been realized that World War I was the war to end all wars, November 11th might still be called Armistice Day. But only a few years after the holiday was proclaimed, war broke out in Europe. 16.5 million Americans took part. 407,000 of them died in service, more than 292,000 in battle. So, basically, it was to celebrate the end of fighting in World War I, the war to end all wars, and then war broke out in Europe, and World War II kicked off, and then, of course, we got involved in that. So, Armistice Day changed to honor all veterans, because originally it was for World War I. So, the first celebration using the term Veterans Day occurred in Birmingham, Alabama. All right, Alabama, you did something right. In 1947, Raymond Weeks, a World War II veteran, organized National Veterans Day, which included a parade and other festivities to honor all veterans. The event was held on November 11th, then designated Armistice Day. Later, U.S. Representative Edward Reese of Kansas proposed a bill that would change Armistice Day to Veterans Day. In 1954, Congress passed the bill that President Eisenhower signed, proclaiming November 11th as Veterans Day. Raymond Weeks received the Presidential Citizens Medal from President Reagan in November 1982. Weeks' local parade and ceremonies are now an annual event celebrated nationwide. On Memorial Day 1958, two more unidentified American war dead were brought from overseas and interred in the plaza beside the unknown soldier of World War I. One was killed in World War II, the other in the Korean War. In 1984, an unknown serviceman from the Vietnam War was placed alongside the others. The remains from Vietnam were exhumed May 14th, 1998. Identified as Air Force First Lieutenant Michael Joseph Blassie, and removed for burial. To honor these men, symbolic of all Americans who gave their lives in all wars, an Army Honor Guard, the 3rd U.S. Infantry, the Old Guard, keeps day and night vigil. A law passed in 1968 changed the national oh man, that's not right. It changed Veterans Day to the 4th Monday in October in 1968. It soon became apparent, however, that November 11th was a day of historic significance to many Americans. Therefore, in 1978, Congress returned the observance to its traditional date. So we had a name change. Originally, it was a great idea. It had this name, and then we went into war again, and we wanted it to be something that would honor all veterans. And then, based on some actions of some veterans, they changed the name, and then they tried to change the date. However, wanted to take it back to that historic November 11th date. Again, remember that was for the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, which is when World War I, the fighting ended. So national ceremonies are held at Arlington Cemetery. If you ever get a chance to go there on Veterans Day, it'd be pretty amazing. So the focal point for official national cemeteries for Veterans Day continues to be the Memorial Amphitheater built around the Tomb of the Unknowns. At 11 a.m. on November 11th, a combined color guard representing all military services present arms at the tomb. The nation's tribute to its war dead is symbolized by the laying of a presidential wreath. The bugler plays taps. The rest of the ceremony takes place in the amphitheater. Veterans Day ceremonies at Arlington and elsewhere are coordinated by the President's Veterans Day National Committee, chaired by the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. The committee represents national veterans organizations. So just a little additional information on the history of Veterans Day, the Veterans Day National Committee, the national ceremony, a gallery of Veterans Day posters from 1978 to the present, and a colorful and informative Veterans Day teacher's resource guide for those teachers out there can be found on the internet at www.va.gov/Vets Day, VETSDAY. So, little history for you. I know that might seem a little boring, but it's kind of important to know where that comes from. And a lot of people don't know that it originally started because of World War I, and it wasn't even called Veterans Day, and that it has changed when it was multiple times. So, tomorrow is Veterans Day. Today is the 247th birthday of the United States Marines, and you are here on Behind the Helm. So make sure you find it, like it, share it, follow it. Smash that like button down below. Make sure to comment. Make sure to say happy birthday to the Marines. And if you have any questions or comments about Veterans Day, make sure to post them no matter what you are watching on, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. So we said we talk about a little help. Let's talk about a little help. How can you help your local veterans? Well, we already talked about the American Legion, the VFW, AMVETS. These organizations are organizations that you should get involved in and know that when they put on events and it is open to the public and you're going there and you're buying food or drink or whatever you're doing, that money is going in to help the community and the veterans as well. However, there are other ways, national ways that you can help veterans, whether it be the Valhalla Project or different organizations like that where you can donate, where they honor veterans every day. And if anything, just tell a veteran you know, hey, thank you for your service, because although some veterans try to avoid it, it is something that they've done and they deserve that respect. So, I thank people for theirs all the time when older vets say it to me, and I think it's important. On Veterans Day, understand it is about them. It doesn't mean that we're going to be jerks about it. We shouldn't be. But, just understand that these are people that, whether they were in a combat zone or not, they did something that others either couldn't, wouldn't, or won't. And I think they deserve a day. I really do. So that includes anybody who is active as well. So there is a question, and I want to kind of bring this up. So my brother, not being malicious in any way, when we were talking about Veterans Day one time, he said, well, that's for veterans. You're not a veteran. As far as I see it, this, so that's not really for you. So I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit so that there was an understanding of what makes a veteran. And, because we have Memorial Day, we have Veterans Day, and we have, Armed Services Day. So what's the difference, right? What is the difference, and what makes you a veteran? In order to do that, I'm going to pull up something real quick because, of course, it closed out. So give me 1 second here to type this in. Oh, yeah, if it's going to let me. 1 second. Now, I will tell you that I've gone over this with a few people, and some people disagree, but this is from the VA, which is, the VA is Veteran Affairs, and they help with veterans who have retired and all kinds of things. We could go on and on about the VA, but what is a veteran? So there are specific things that make you a veteran. And I will say those organizations that we were talking about, like the VFW, the American Legion, there are different criteria to get in. So VFW is Veteran of Foreign Wars. There are very specific things that you have to meet criteria to be able to join that. Not just any veteran can actually join the VFW. So this is what it says on va.org. What is a veteran? we're talking legal definition. What makes a veteran a veteran? What is a veteran? Title 38 of the Code of Federal Regulations defines a veteran as a person who served in the active military, naval, or air service and who was discharged or released under conditions other than dishonorable. So as long as you weren't dishonorably discharged from your service and you served in your service and you were discharged, you are a veteran. The definition explains that any individual that completed a service for any branch of armed forces classifies as a veteran as long as they were not dishonorably discharged. This also answers the question, who is a veteran? So that's a good question. So the big thing that my brother had said to me was, you are active duty, so you're not really a veteran. And when you go off of this definition, people who are active duty, it would seem that they're not. So a lot of times when there are perks and stuff on Veterans Day, they do people extend it to active and veteran members. So what is funny in the Navy, at least, is when we re-enlist, we finish a term of service and we are actually honorably discharged, and then we re-enlist. So technically, by this definition, I'm a veteran. So when I told my brother that, we kind of had a laugh about it, and he's like, well, see, I didn't know that. And that's why we talk about these things. So when I re-enlisted on board the USS Wisconsin in Norfolk, Virginia, we did an attention to discharge. They read the discharge. I have it actually in my office. They give it to you. And they discharge you, and then they say, hey, you're a civilian now. Like, do you want to say anything? And, you do whatever. And then they say, okay, attention to enlistment. And then they enlist you again. So I have been discharged honorably and then re-enlisted. So it all depends on how you look at it. However, understand that those who are serving now are also still doing something, and one day will be a veteran, as long as they're not dishonorably discharged, which I will tell you is it's pretty hard to get dishonorably discharged. You got to do some pretty bad stuff. So again, you're here on Behind the Helm. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you do whatever it is. If you're on YouTube, click the bell, get the notifications, do all those I'm never going to get this word right. It's algorithm, but algorithmic things to help us be found, so that hopefully we will help someone. So always find it, like it, share it, follow it. It is November 10th, 2022. It is the Marine Corps' birthday, 247 years. Happy birthday again, Marines. And tomorrow is Veterans Day. So we went over a little bit of the history of Veterans Day. We watched the Marines' birthday message. So make sure you go back and check that out. So if you know a Marine, and Marines always say, once a Marine, always a Marine. So even if they are not in anymore, you still tell them happy birthday, and I guarantee they're going to know what you're talking about. And tomorrow is Veterans Day. So make sure you go back and kind of learn a little bit about how Veterans Day came about and what it's about. And make sure you reach out and help. Look at those local organizations. Look to your local American Legion. Look to your local VFW, your AMVETS, and be a part of those organizations as they love to help their community. And not just local veterans, they help the community. I can tell you personally, like in our American Legion, we help with kids in need in the county, in the community, as well as a lot of other things that we donate to from profits that we make. It's not about a profit. Nobody's profiting. We're putting it right back out into the community. So with that being said, this next part is for my veteran community, and by all means, all those other people who are out there watching, thank you so very much. You can stay in. Right? You can keep watching and learn about some perks, because, hey, I don't know if it entices you to want to join the military. By all means, make sure to reach out and I'll get you in contact with a local recruiter. So with that being said, bonus content in 3, 2, 1. Bonus content. It feels weird doing it by myself. Levesque, if you're watching, it's weird. Okay. Mr. Luke out there in Twitch, I see you. Hi. See the hi. We're going to talk about some Veterans Day perks. So I pulled up the top ones, a couple different places. And this is for, like I said, my veterans out there, or if you have a veteran in your family that maybe isn't going out and doing anything, hey, take them out and go get them a free meal because they're a veteran or something, right? So here's the thing. One of the first things we're actually going to look at is not just the stuff that's available on Veterans Day. Let's talk about a few places that are actually very big supporters of veterans and active duty military year round. How about that? So let's go over a few of those, okay? So first thing is first. Let's talk about food. Everybody loves food, right? Everybody loves to eat out, so it's going to be food. So as far as eat for cheap or free at these restaurants that honor our military. Now, these are people who do this year round. A&W gives military, active and retired, 10% off year round with an ID, okay? Arby's gives 10% off at select locations. Bennigan's gives active and retired military 10% off in store. Bob Evans takes 10% off the total bill for ID'd members of the military and gives a free entree on Veterans Day, which we'll get to. Bojangles, Bonefish Grill, Boston Market, Bubba Gump, Shrimp Company takes 10% off. Buffalo Wild Wings gives past and current members of the military 10 to 15% off depending on your location. Chuck E. Cheese provides military personnel 2 exclusive menu options that combine food, beverage, and play points at discount prices. I was at Chuck E. Cheese last night. No, they didn't. But I didn't ask, so it's whatever. Dave & Buster's, Denny's, Hooters, IHOP. These are all places that are year-round. Logan's Roadhouse, Long John Silver's, Medieval Times, The Melting Pot, Outback Steakhouse, Red Lobster, Shoney's. It's a lot. So understand that, there are a lot of companies out there that do this for you year round, okay? But let's talk about Veterans Day specific. Tomorrow, 2022, Veterans Day, November 11th. Free meals, veterans. You want to eat? Look, plan your day. Plan your day. You want to get free. I definitely know guys. I don't know if anybody really does it. Some do, but they talk about, hey, planning breakfast, lunch, and dinner, fourth meal, brunch. All right, it's out. You can do it, okay? But disclaimer for my veterans out there, do me a favor and understand that if you go somewhere, you get a free meal. Still tip well, okay? Because those waitresses and waiters are suffering from that. I don't mean suffering because of you, but understand that they work on waitress and waiter wages. They're working on tips. And if you're getting a meal or whatever, they are still serving you, which I'm sure that they are happy and proud to do so. But that is taking time in their workday away from actually making a wage. They're not just getting paid a regular wage. So still be appreciative of what they're doing and doing for you. And at least, hey, you're getting a free meal. Tip them, okay? Because they're still serving you. So appreciate that as well, okay? You don't have to. I'm just telling you. All right? That's just my opinion. So free meals tomorrow. 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven veterans get a free quarter-pound Big Bite 100% all beef hot dog on November 11th. Available in-store and via delivery through the 7NOW app. So get yourself a hot dog. Another Broken Egg Cafe. Veterans and active duty military get a free Patriot French toast combo and coffee on November 11th. Available for dine-in only at participating cafes. Applebee's is another big one. Active duty military, veterans, reserves, and National Guard. That's right, National Guard, even you. Receive a free meal when dining in from a special menu on November 11th. And when dining in on November 11th, military guests will receive a $5 bounce back card to redeem for dine-in, to-go, or delivery with a 3-week redemption window. So that's pretty cool. That's new. I've been to Applebee's before, and it's it's normally like a burger and fries. Like it's nice. Thank you very much. And then they're giving this $5 bounce back card too this year. That's awesome. Thank you, Applebee's. Aroma Joe's, I'm not familiar with it, but all veterans get a free 24-ounce drink. Let's see. There, and I'm looking, you can look this up right on military.com. There are all kinds of sites, military.com. They update this every day, right? Every day they're adding to this. So there are some on here that I'm going to skip over because I know for me personally, I've never heard of them. So make sure you check it out. I'm just going over some of the big ones. Bar Louie, active duty military and veterans get a free craft burger, which they're good, on November 11th. Dine-in only. Beef O'Brady's, veterans eat for free on November 11th at participating locations with the purchase of equal or greater value of up to $12. So, hey, take your spouse out. Be like, yep, it's on me. Get your spouse a meal and then you get yours for free, or a friend or whatever. BJ's Restaurant and Brew House on November 11th. Current and former military members receive free meal from a select menu. Dine-in only. All right, so those are awesome. Bob Evans, again, mentioned them. Veterans and active duty military get a free meal from a select menu on November 11th. Dine-in only again. Let's see. California Pizza Kitchen on November 11th. Veterans and active duty receive a complimentary non-alcoholic beverage and choice of one entree from a special menu. So that's awesome. Thank you. Let's see what else is on here. Casey's General Store, so gas station general store. Service members, past and present, receive a free cup of coffee on November 11th. I will tell you, there are a lot of gas stations out there that especially if you're active duty, you get free coffee. Speedway in Anderson does that. So, make sure that you're checking that. Let's see. Chili's. Veterans and active duty service members get a free meal from a select menu. Available for in-restaurant only. Chuck E. Cheese on November 11th. Veterans get a free personal one-topping pizza with valid military ID or proof of military service. Not available for delivery. All right. CC's Pizza. It's already only $5, but okay. Active and retired military person get a free adult buffet on November 11th, so that's cool. And Circle K, veterans and active duty service members get a free medium coffee all day. At every location that serves coffee. Again, some of them already do that, so just check into that. See, are there any other Cracker Barrel? Cracker Barrel is a good one that's always there. Veterans get a complimentary slice of double chocolate fudge Coca-Cola cake in-store and online. I don't need it. Most of you probably don't either. Denny's is a big one. On November 11th, Denny's offers complimentary Grand Slams to all active, non-active, and retired military personnel. Non-active. I guess they're just trying to say reserves, but okay. Let's see. Dunkin' Donuts. You get your Dunkies. I know Petty Officer Levex out there, man. Get your Dunkies. Veterans and active duty get a free donut of their choice at participating locations. And like I said, this list goes on and on. Famous Dave's, Firebirds. Oh my gosh, there is a lot this year. Gold Star Chili for those of you over in Ohio. Golden Corral, that's a big one. I will tell you, I tried to do that one year. Everybody tries to go to Golden Corral, so you got to get there early. Golden Corral is hosting their Military Appreciation Night on November 14th this year. Okay, they're not doing it on the 11th, it's on the 14th. So look, you can plan a couple days out from 5 p.m. to close. This includes a free thank you meal when dining in. All right. Again, you can check all this out on military.com. Hamburger stand, Hard Rock Cafe. Veterans receive a free legendary burger all day, so that's cool. Hooters active duty military and veterans get a free entree from Hooters Veterans Day menu with purchase of a beverage. Just buy yourself a Coke. All right. You can't get a water. All right. Hy-Vee has some stuff as well. IHOP is another big one. You get a free, military get free red, white, and blueberry pancakes at participating locations. Let's see, man, this list is quite long this year. Krispy Kreme, you get a free coffee and donut on the 11th. What else we got? Little Caesars, get a free lunch combo at participating stores from 11 to 2. And in stores only. Logan's Roadhouse is on here. Let's see, Macaroni Grill, Max and Irma's, and Mission Barbecue, Mod Pizza, O'Charlie's, Outback Steakhouse. You get a free bloomin' onion, so that's nice. Perkins has breakfast as well. Pilot and Flying J. So for those who are out driving or traveling for the weekend, or for my veteran brothers who are truck drivers now, veterans get a free meal at participating locations November 11th through a special offer in the app. You have to have the app to get that. All right. Red Lobster Veterans Day. Get a free Walt's Favorite Shrimp, fries, and coleslaw on November 11th from 11 to 4 in your local time. Red Robin, get some stuff there. Wow. And there is just a lot more than I thought. Sheets, which is, again, that's for everybody who's out in the kind of Virginia area. It's a gas station. They're doing some stuff. I say gas station, but they have regular food stuff like that. Smash Burgers, Shoney's. We're only to the S's. Starbucks. As with previous years, Starbucks will offer a free tall 12-ounce hot brewed coffee for veterans, military service members, military spouses. Starbucks give you free coffee on November 11th. As a new addition in 2022, Starbucks is expanding this offer to include a free tall 12-ounce iced coffee. So you can get iced or hot. In case you were wondering, Texas Roadhouse, another one. Texas Roadhouse is doing something interesting this year. Veterans and active duty military receive a meal voucher on November 11th from 11 to 2. So it's only from 11 to 2. You get a meal voucher. These vouchers are good for dine-in or carry-out and can be used until May 30th, 2023. So that's cool. You don't have to get it that day, right? There will be specific menu. There will be a specific menu, obviously, you can choose from. TGI Fridays is on here. Let's see. Twin Peaks is on here. Uno's Pizza. Wendy's, active duty military and veterans get a free breakfast combo on November 11th at participating locations from 6:30 to 10:30. Wendy's is pushing that breakfast. Let's see. Wiener Schnitzels is on here. I just like saying it. And many, many more. So make sure you check that out. So, man, plan your day, plan your meal. That's just the food. Food is normally the biggest one that's on here. But we're going to talk about some other deals that are available year-round and tomorrow for you. And first and foremost, there's travel ones. We'll get to those. We're not going to spend too much time on that. But there is also retail stores that are doing specific things for Veterans Day and do it all the time. Also remember, again, find it, like, share it, follow it. Make sure you share this feed. Hit that like button. You are on Behind the Helm. There are a couple different sites that you can go to, like VetTix and ID.me, where you can register. They look up everything and they verify your service. So there are a lot of websites that if you have an ID.me account, it will verify. So you're not sending your military ID, because technically we're not supposed to do that. So understand that. That's a good thing. If you see somebody who's asking to verify via that, if it's online, that's awesome. So here are a few favorite retailers who discount 10 to 25% off merchandise at your favorite retailers. This is year round. Okay, so Adidas gives verified military members and first responders a 30% in-store and online discount and 20% off in factory stores. In case you didn't know that. Best Buy doesn't have a corporate military discount, but many individual stores offer 10% off with ID. You call ahead. I used to work for Best Buy. That's not... I haven't heard that, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask. Buckle has 10% off year-round. Champs, Costco offers a $20 Costco shop card when active duty military veterans and their families sign up for a Costco membership. So they're literally going to give you $20. East Bay, Finish Line, Foot Locker, Gap, Journeys, Kohl's, Kohl's give veterans, active duty members, and retirees a 15% in-store discount on Mondays every week. It has to be on Mondays. The discount cannot be used with other percent off discounts or age-specific discounts. I will also tell you that Kohl's is doing something specifically this year for Veterans Day, and we'll see that in a minute. And you know what? Why don't I do this? So you guys can actually see this. I don't know why I didn't.